Hello everyone and welcome to part 4 of our epic BC road trip series. If you haven't already watched our previous videos, click the link now to catch up before continuing. We kick off day 10 in downtown Vancouver. It was our parents' first time visiting the city, so we took them straight to some of the top tourist attractions. Our first stop was the Gastown Steam Clock. We timed it perfectly to see it ring, playing its signature tunes powered entirely by steam. After that, we explored some souvenir shops, picking up a few memorable items before heading to Canada Place. From there, we had an incredible view of the ocean, North Vancouver, and the mountains. The golden hour lighting made everything look even more breathtaking, with seaplanes gliding over the water and the city skyline glowing behind us. Next, we made our way to Stanley Park. Our first stop within the park was the 9 o'clock gun. Since it was summer, the sun hadn't set yet, but the gun fired right on time at 9 p.m. Then, we visited the totem poles, taking in their rich history and intricate carvings. Of course, no trips to Stanley Park would be complete without visiting the Lions Gate Bridge. We arrived just in time for sunset, and the view of the sun setting behind the mountains was absolutely spectacular. And with that, day 10 came to an end. Day 11 was all about exploring Squamish. Our first stop, Shannon Falls. After a short scenic hike from the parking lot, we reached the majestic waterfall, with water cascading down the cliffs. This was the second of the 3 major waterfalls on the west coast we planned to visit on this trip. Next, we visited a waterfall with a unique feature. It changes colors depending on recent rainfall. Sometimes it appears turquoise with deep green hues, while other times it's grey milky cascade. Since it hadn't rained for a while, we weren't sure what to expect. After a short but tricky hike, navigating over roots and rocks, we finally reached the viewpoint. And yes, this time the waterfall had a grey, milky appearance. After that adventure, it was time for dinner in Squamish, where we met up with my good friend Lakna. With that, we wrapped up day 11 and got ready for another exciting day ahead. Day 12 was dedicated entirely to visiting Britannia Mine Museum in Squamish. We arrived just in time for our pre-booked tour. The museum was full of historical artifacts, each room showcasing different aspects of mining history. But the main attraction was the underground mine tour. Wearing our hard hats, we boarded the train car that once transported copper out of the mine. As we entered the tunnel deep inside the mountain, we saw traces of copper deposits, as well as old dynamite storage areas. During the tour, they demonstrated noisy air-powered tool once used by miners, giving us a feel for how tough the work was. We also got to examine various minerals, learning about their weight and composition. Next, we saw a backhoe demonstration, a machine used to scoop materials into carts. The sound was deafening, and we all had to cover our ears as it operated. They also explained the challenges of lighting inside the mine and how miners adapted to harsh conditions. Once we exited the tunnels, we explored the massive outdoor exhibits. Many of the old mining machines were still standing. And we learned how they purified water before releasing it into the sea, removing harmful materials. We entered the main processing facility, where the mined materials was sorted and extracted. The green and blue hues visible on the mountain outside showed us how rich the area still is in copper. Before leaving, we tried gold panning, an experience where we sifted through sand to find gold, copper and other minerals. We spent almost 2 hours trying our luck, and yes, we did find some small treasures. After wrapping up at the museum, we explored a bit more of Squamish before heading to Brandywine Falls. After a short hike, we arrived at this breathtaking waterfall, known for its unique rock formation. With that, we changed our base from Squamish to Whistler, checked into our accommodation and called it a night. Day 13 was all about exploring Whistler Village. We started the day with a delicious Mongolian cuisine experience. At this restaurant, you could fill your bowls with your choice of ingredients, and they would cook up a delicious Mongolian barbecue just for you.
Where are you guys visiting from?
Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah.
3
years in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before that, Sri Lanka.
Oh, you guys from Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty warm place.
Yeah.
Of course, we paired our meal with some sake to complete the experience. After lunch, we headed to our first adventure of the day, the train wreck site. There were warnings about bears in the area, but we came prepared with everything we need, including bear spray. After a scenic hike, crossing a suspension bridge, we arrived at the famous train wreck site. Scattered among the trees were several train cars covered in colorful graffiti. It was incredible to see how massive trees had grown around the wreckage over time. We also followed the tracks to understand how far the train had derailed, and it was shocking to see some cars lying far from the tracks. Some might have even fallen into the river below. And with that, we wrap up part 4 of our BC road trip series. Thank you for watching until the end. Stay tuned for part 5, where we continue exploring Whistler and begin our journey back to Calgary. Until then, stay safe and see you soon.